Hey there, hi there, ho there. Welcome back once again for another brand new exciting episode of Disney Compendium Volume 33, Pocahontas. I'm your host, as usual, JJ, and over there, as always, with something important that he has to say, is my good friend Nick. Nick,
Oh yes.
do you have anything that you want to say
I do
about
have
last
this.
week?
Uh, if you heard our annex episode, you might have heard me say something inappropriate. And if you listen to the show with your children, I apologize. And also, I'm judging you if you listen to the show with your children. Uh, but
We,
yes, I'm
I
sorry.
I've tried to make this a family show.
Yes. So I will never say Tarzan again in this podcast.
You just did. Way to go.
Gosh darn it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jiminy Jillikers.
Jiminy Jillikers. But here we are talking about Disney's Avatar.
It's fixed now, the episode, but it certainly was not. It was PG-13 last week.
Yeah. So
Episode.
if you have that
You're
version,
yeah. You're allowed. If it's PG-13, you're allowed one F-bomb,
yeah.
and it can't be used. Um, it can only be used as an expletive. It can't be used in its other form.
hmm
So in a PG-13 movie. So.
Yeah. And you're only allowed to listen to the episode if you physically own the copy of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just. It gets to kind of do a gray area, though. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a copyright gray area with the F
Yeah.
word.
Yes. Yeah. Podcastswearparadise.com.
Yeah, so
Disney's
Disney's
Avatar.
I was gonna say Disney's Avatar, but now Avatar is Disney's Avatar. So
Okay, so movies that your teacher can show you on a rainy day.
yeah, and can lie about saying like it's educational. I
Yeah.
guess these are the names of real people.
Yep. I mean, I literally watched this movie freshman year of high school on a rainy
Yep.
day, and boy,
I took a class in high school that was called musical theater.
yeah,
You may ask yourself, musical theater, that's got to be fun. It's got to be things like stage plays and stuff. No, absolutely not. It was watching musical films and then writing essays and stuff about them, like breaking them down and things like that. Like that's what the class was. And like, well, this is a low budget, like low effort class, and I'm here for it. I love this. I love movies. I like talking about movies, so I'm fine with this. So I'm trying to remember the exact movies we saw. I know there was obviously Mary Poppins was one of
yeah,
them. Bye Bye Birdie, South Pacific, West Side Story, Little Shop of Horrors, which is I was very excited about that one. I wasn't expecting that one. Newsies,
okay,
and I took like 2 semesters of that class because I love watching movies, and I'm pretty sure Pocahontas was one of them because that movie was only like 6 years old at the time. So
that's like that class in theory sounds okay, but it's like, hey, do you like Guys and Dolls? Yep. Well, now write a paper about it and lose all your love for it.
Yeah. Thing is, they didn't like that class didn't play like Guys and Dolls should have. You would think something like Guys and Dolls and Singing in the Rain,
Yeah,
and something like that would have been in there, but like nah. Or even like the original A Star Is Born or the remake of A Star Is Born. Not the most recent remake, but the other remake of A Star Is Born. Like something. But no, it was much more contemporary with the exception of things like Mary Poppins, West Side Story. I think the South Pacific was.
Yeah, well, that's still Rogers and Hammerstein. That's not.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it was a fun class. I like that class. But
we watched Xanadu.
Oh man, I could have written a paper about Xanadu.
On Xanadu.
We could have done that. Given the opportunity, I absolutely could have written a scathing report on Xanadu.
Xanadu.
Oh, Greece. Obviously, Greece was another one.
Yeah, just Gene Kelly at the end of his life, like, all right.
Yeah. You quickly realize that there's nothing more frustrating than watching a movie, 30, 45 minutes at a time.
Oh,
a day.
God.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
not like the classes were 2 hours long. It was, a school period.
Yeah.
It's a high school period. So it's like, yeah, you get about like a DVD chapter, and then it's off to the next class.
Finish it tomorrow. Well, listen. I don't know if you ever heard of the miniseries Centennial. It was about the history of America.
Yeah.
We watched it about 45 minutes at a time over the course of an entire school year.
Nice.
And we got to the last episode, and my teacher forgot that he had taped over the last part of it for a Celtics versus Lakers game from 1987. And apparently he had done this several years in a row and just forgot. So we're emotionally invested in Centennial. Nope. Burning magic.
Burning magic. Here we go.
Yeah.
I mean, in hindsight, it's a better story.
Yeah. But Centennial, like the movie.
Remember, you want to know one of the craziest movie watching experiences I ever had was in elementary school. Elementary school. I'm pretty sure 5th grade, because I was older at the time. 5th grade. What movie you watched in class?
What?
Glory.
Go for it. I mean, it's historically significant.
Yeah, but that is not for kids. That is not for 5th graders.
That movie wrecks me now as a 39-year-old man.
It was a bad movie to play for 5th graders, and I have no idea why that was allowed.
I love the 54.
Yeah. So. But everything that we've talked about, better movie than the one we were actually supposed to be talking about.
Yeah.
I would rather watch South. I'd rather watch South Pacific for the, 3rd time.
Well, I'll tell you my craziest movie experience, and I still at school, I still would rather watch that than this one. I was in RSP class because I was no good at math or speaking good English.
Me fail English?
Me fail English sounds impossible. And our teacher one day is like, you know what, guys? I like Days of Thunder, so we're going to watch Days of Thunder.
Oh, yeah. One time, just end of semester, my math teacher was like, God, you could tell, like, I got nothing else for you, so we're going to watch Austin Powers 2 instead.
Okay.
So,
still would rather watch.
For the last week of this semester, it wasn't like end of the year, it was just end of the semester. So I'm just gonna watch Austin Powers 2. So there you go. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm in high school. This is key humor for me. I'll watch Austin Powers 2.
Yeah. Still would rather watch that and Days of Thunder in any movies we've listed, including Xanadu, maybe.
When's the last time you saw Xanadu?
I had to be 20 years ago.
I watched Xanadu very, very recently.
Why?
There's a podcast that's how did this get made, and that was an episode with Xanadu. And I was like, I'm gonna watch Xanadu and get their opinions on it afterwards, kind of thing. Because that's how the podcast is supposed to work.
Sure.
And so I watched Xanadu, and I was like, oh Lord, that's right, Xanadu.
Thank you for clarifying.
It makes zero sense, and by the time it's over, you're just like, what?
Yeah.
I okay.
I'm glad
trying to make Olivia Newton-John a thing.
I'm glad you clarified how podcasts are supposed to work, because I totally still haven't gotten it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Now, see, here's the thing. You're actually on the show, so it makes sense that you have to watch this movie before talking about it. I'm sorry. It's not always a pleasant experience.
No.
Case in point, 1995, June 23rd, opening worldwide, Pocahontas. Yay! Look, we're not going to beat around the bush on Pocahontas. Not good.
No.
Like at all. Like it's funny because like it has great music.
Yeah, and it's beautifully animated.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks, yeah, it's 1995. It's, we're still in the middle of the Renaissance.
But are we?
Yeah, theoretically, yes. We're in the middle of the Renaissance with several more movies. As much as you want to bemoan that factoid, this is still technically the Renaissance, and it goes, and Tarzan is still part of the Renaissance.
I listen. I don't know why you use swear words on this podcast. We kind of cover that,
but yeah, it's one of those movies where I'm like, you watch it. It starts off like Little Mermaid. First of all,
yeah.
It starts with a shipwreck, basically.
Yeah.
Introducing the handsome, princely gentleman of the movie,
John Smith.
John Smith. Look, I can't even say like, did this movie even start out with the best of intentions, because it's like it doesn't ever feel like it does. Like it tries to do this whole story of these two groups of people are completely different, but they're the same. And it's I'm not gonna bother doing the typical breakdown that we usually do of like the plot beat by beat, because we're just gonna talk naturally about the plot. I think.
Yeah.
It slows down the episode a little bit when we try to break it down sequentially.
And you've kind of hinted that there's a lot more stuff outside of the movie that's kind of relevant to it.
I think talking more historically about this movie too, a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
About like, because this movie does a bad job at representing anything. Like, yeah. Because the song that's towards the last song of the movie, where it has the white man singing about the savages and the Native Americans singing about the pale faces and how they wanted to kill, but like they're all singing the same song. So the point of the song is effectively like, at the end of the day, they're all the same. We're all humans. We're all scared of what we don't understand. It's like, it's not that simple with this story, because it is, these people are coming and causing a ruckus and destroying the livelihoods of these people. They have the right and reason to be absolutely furious at the paleface, especially since the undercurrent plot of this movie, because it has to have a plot other than why they're there, and that plot is like a Goonies plot. There's like what's his name?
There's a pirate ship.
Yeah. What's the? I'm bad with remembering names because I hate this movie. Ratcliffe. That's all he's there for. Yeah, he's only there for gold.
Yeah, it's just David Ogden Stiers again.
Yeah. And there are too many things that shouldn't be like sentient or talking, doing things like that. You have the tree, you have a hummingbird, you have the pug, and you have the raccoon. That's too much.
Yep.
You put too much in it.
Yep.
Like, give the tree, like, yes, that's an important piece of mythology to include in here.
Yeah.
Choose the raccoon or the hummingbird. You don't get both. And you absolutely don't get to give the villain a wacky sidekick too at this point if you're packing this many in there. So,
well, I mean, also if you know the story behind Pocahontas, like the actual person, like, spoilers, guys, they imply that her and John Smith have a thing, but he leaves without her. She later marries a man named John Rolfe or James Rolfe. She moves
the angry video game nerd, James Rolfe.
James Rolfe. Well, I don't forget. Yes. Yeah. Okay. And so she becomes Rebecca Rolfe, moves to England, becomes, I guess, civilized. And keep in mind, I'm using quote marks there.
There's air quotes going on that you people can't see out there that is happening.
It dies of malaria or something. Like she just she couldn't handle living in dirty old England.
Yeah, But yeah, I like their first meeting, and then there's just like instant like actual magic, and now she can speak English.
Yeah.
Is like one of like I don't know. It just seems so careless. I don't know what the
Yeah.
right word here. It's like that's your like ancient native mysticism lets
Yeah.
her speak with the white man kind of thing. Seems like just through magic alone, the magic of love and an old willow tree
Yeah.
is able to grant her the Guardians of the Galaxy style ear chip so she can understand alien tongue. Like,
Yes. The magic of being a leggy woman in a loincloth.
yeah.
That's how she communicates. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
or
totally.
I guess my joke probably could have been better if I went with like the babble fish from
Yeah.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but Guardians of the Galaxy is more on brand, more
Yeah.
on Disney brand. So
Yeah. It's when I was talking to somebody about this movie, they go, "Oh, you mean when they're in their woke Disney period?" Like, yeah, that's it.
yeah,
That's it.
but it's like the ultra like lame, like they're
Yeah.
not even
Like,
really trying because like yeah, because you have this, and in 3 weeks if we stay on schedule is Mulan, which handles it better.
yeah. I mean, I will say this about the movie, like, and they prided themselves on a lot of this. So we go, yeah, well, all the Native Americans are voiced by actual Native American actors, and you
Yeah,
go, oh, that's cool. Except when Paladin starts singing, and it's clearly Jim Cummings.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it has no respect. Like that's the problem when you do something like this. You're showing no respect for history, even if even if history itself was disrespectful, as
yeah,
in this era of
because it totally was.
yeah. You can't just do the Disney whitewash of something like this. It does not work, and people love this movie, and I think because it looks good and it came at people of a certain age,
Yeah,
and the music is very good.
yeah,
Just
it,
Around the River Bend is a fantastic song.
yeah, and
Um,
she's a Disney princess, so she's
yeah,
officially a Disney princess.
yeah. I mean, representation matters, obviously,
Yeah,
and that they've sort of been able to pivot Pocahontas into more of a representation role as opposed to like also let's just push these movies over here somewhere.
yeah. Well,
But
I mean, she,
also we have a Native American princess who represents, you know, that thing, and then try not to, you know, focus too much on the
yeah, I
unwoke
think
wokeness of their theatrical feature.
I don't know if the problem was that they the fact that they shouldn't have tried to base it off an actual person, or if they just really, I don't want to say, I don't like half, I can't say that word, but half did things.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Went in with half a deck, you know. It just
yeah,
like, you know, yeah. It's like they came up with. I was gonna say they came up with an idea, but then didn't. But they didn't even really come up with an idea. Um,
yeah,
because it's one of those things where okay, so the director of this was the director of The Rescuers Down Under,
yeah,
um, and he wanted to work with Joe Grant, um, who was a Disney legend.
hmm
You know, who's a veteran at Disney. Um, he the original plan that he was coming up with. He was thinking like, oh, let's do like Western legends, Annie Oakley, Pecos Bill, things like that. Buffalo Bill. That's not Silence of the Lambs. Buffalo Bill.
Keep
That can't say the F word again.
put solution in the indigenous people's basket.
Yeah. Um, uh, but eventually, it's this era of Disney, so it is the pitch your idea, yes or no, yes or no. Uh, this idea, this idea was literally a picture of Tiger Lily from Peter Pan with the words Walt Disney's Pocahontas written on it.
Oh man!
Um,
Wow.
and on the back, a pitch of the kind of the movie of an Indian princess who is torn between her father's wishes to destroy the English settlers and her wishes to help them. A girl caught between her father and her people and her love for the enemy. And that's the pitch for Pocahontas. A picture of Tiger Lily that says Pocahontas, already off to a bad start in the, you know, it's, I don't want to be crude with my language, but it's like, they all look the same. So Tiger Lily, Pocahontas, here's a pitch, a very simple Pocahontas loved John Smith is the,
Yep.
And like, so they're not going in with the best of intentions. They're just going in with, with a half-cocked idea of.
That's worse than the thing I said. I was going to say.
Yeah. So I'll remember this one. I'll say half-baked instead.
Yeah.
How that was supposed to come out. But,
let's just say lazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It just came in with, just. But that's how these gong show meetings work. Sometimes you get gold. Sometimes you get, coal.
Pocahontas.
So for every Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin, you get Pocahontas or Tarzan. So,
yeah. Well, you know what? This movie kind of. It also does a thing where it goes back to a familiar trope with Disney.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I'm the princess, and my dad just doesn't get it.
Yeah.
And
well, here's the thing. Do you know how it all actually came about? Because you're not too far off with it. Because also, after this pitch was made, at the same time at the studio, the president of animation was working on an adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. So it's a couple of people who are like, Dad just doesn't get it, and so it's like, boy, your idea and Romeo and Juliet are kind of the same. So let's just take my Romeo and Juliet and put it into your Pocahontas, and here you go.
That's not historically accurate. Yeah, it's fine.
If they would have done anything, like come up with a different Native American name, something.
Yeah.
Just try to make it like, because they successfully do these things later on. I mean, like when you do things with Moana or something,
Yeah, well, if you it's like think of Moana and Coco, like, okay, yeah, those are pretty good representations of different cultures.
Yeah, culture, because you're using sort of the culture as the aesthetic.
Yeah,
which goes a long way, as opposed to using the culture as like that's the plot point. Is the aesthetic? It's not the. There's no aesthetic. There's no Native American imagery or anything. Like if they went to like more native style imagery or something in this, maybe it would have played out a little better. It would have felt a little less Disney just trying to cash in on an underrepresented audience.
Yeah, and they got the most culturally sensitive white man for that movie, yes. Mel Gibson. Oh no!
It's one of those things when I started watching this movie and it's like, it's Mel Gibson. You're familiar that it's Mel Gibson, but then he starts talking and you're like, oh, that's right, Mel Gibson.
Yeah. He didn't destroy his career at some point.
Yeah, this is what is it, 95? So
yeah, this is like, okay, so he's done Maverick already. Yeah. I think he's about to do Ransom.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
What else? I'm trying to think of what else. Mel Gibson.
Lethal Weapon's done, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe? Maybe not.
What else? There was something else that I'm thinking.
Braveheart. He's doing
Braveheart.
Braveheart.
Braveheart
Yeah.
is this year. Braveheart is
Yeah.
this
Okay.
year.
So he's kind of at the top of his game here.
Yeah.
And,
Braveheart. Like, yeah. I don't understand. I don't understand, like, why he like. I guess I do understand why he would do this movie at the end of the day. I guess.
It had a lot of zeros in it.
A lot of zeros in it, and it's a Disney movie, and he gets to be oppressive.
Yeah, it's like, oh, also we're gonna let you sing. You do know Mel Gibson, right? Yeah, that's fine.
You know they dubbed over me in the original cut of Mad Max, right? Whatever, just get going.
Goose is fine. He'll be okay.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, that's right. He was in Casper.
Mel Gibson was in Casper?
Yeah, he had like a very small, stupid cameo in Casper. So 95.
Wow.
95, you have Braveheart, Casper, and Pocahontas, and Ransom's the next year. And then...
I like two of those movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know.
It's... Yeah.
You win some, you lose some. And then he lost everything. So.
Yeah. Today is not Jimmy Shaker Day. JJ, I don't know how to talk about this movie without just... Because I don't want to be a bummer, but
yeah.
I feel like, especially since we've come off a string of like, oh man, this is some of the best stuff they've ever made, and it's like, oh yeah, this movie is just the worst. Not the worst,
no,
but rankings wise, that'll bear me out. But as far as just like it's following like really the best movies they've ever made.
Yeah, I mean, like you're following
the Lion King. You're literally following the Lion King.
Well, like even like we were cracking wise because at one point where you're in the Renaissance, Little Mermaid, and then poor little rescuers down under is sandwiched in there.
Yeah.
But then Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, and then Pocahontas again. Hilarious because it's the same director.
Yep.
Like he's just bad luck for this guy all around.
Yep.
But like I mean, they're with the exception of the Rescuers Down Under, they're like just these massive films with timeless stories, and everyone will remember them. And then Pocahontas, which is the most, even if you strip out all of the sort of cultural insensitivity that this movie plays out, still just this bare bones love story.
Yeah,
I mean, like the barest of bare bones. They don't really. John Smith and Pocahontas don't interact a whole lot in this movie.
No,
like you have their initial interaction where she's rolling his eyes at him because he just keeps no savages, no uncivilized, no I'm sorry,
right,
kind of nonsense. And then later on you get some love stuff later on, and then the twist happens with the shooting her
Coquelin, yeah, her betrothed, her arranged marriage,
I don't know how,
well he doesn't shoot him, Thomas shoots him.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, that's where he's taking the fall for what Thomas said. So he was going to take the fall regardless because he was a white man that was spotted kissing, Native woman. So, but yeah, it's just so lackluster in storytelling all around. It makes no effort really to be kind to the people that they're representing, really.
No.
And makes no effort telling a decent love story. Even if it's a weird love story, even if it's a love story that goes like, it's kind of a creepy love story like Little Mermaid or Beauty and the Beast. the Aladdin love story makes a lot more sense than any of the other love stories.
Even the Lion King love story makes more sense. Like, oh, you're
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
My
yeah,
long lost love is back. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, because they liked each other from the get. There wasn't ever any like real like antagonistic feelings towards one another. Just the typical kid like, yeah, Mary, no.
Yeah.
And they're like, I guess I was gonna say pups, but they're lions and kids.
The Well, if I recall correctly, and I think I'm right here, when this movie came out and it got rightfully the backlash it should have, Disney seemed kind of taken aback, like, "Whoa, hold on,
Who could have
no,
seen this?
no, no, it's great, no, it's doing it for you."
Yeah, like who could have ever seen this coming?
Yeah, and they were just caught like, "What? People just they have a problem with this movie?"
Yeah, yeah, and you're smack dab like this era is where this country is starting to become more culturally aware of what we did to the Native Americans.
Yeah,
They're like becoming more like, boy, our ancestors really hosed them, like
yeah,
like it was, and I've born and raised and grew up in the Pacific Northwest, which is very
yeah.
heavy in that stuff, and like they were teaching like their history in like that was a history class, like your like
Mm-hmm.
Washington State history class. 98% of that class was Native history in this area because it's important, and to sort of just completely ignore the sort of just the bare bones racism of it is all they focused on, and that was it.
And they're also
Because again, the villain's plot is only that he wants gold. It's not like this, colonizing nonsense or anything. It really is just he wants gold to be rich. So it's like they're trying to strip away what the true evil was of this by just making
like we're gonna come here
yeah
and force you into Christianity.
yeah
Accept it.
yeah. But instead, now with this story, with the Pocahontas story, it's the main villain. It's like we're gonna come here and we're just I just want gold, so we're just gonna run roughshod over you and get your gold. And you say you don't have gold, but I don't believe you, so I'm gonna kill you all to get your gold.
Yep.
And that's what the villain, like, again, they're stripping away like the reality of history,
Yeah.
like, and it's terrible.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, you can't like we've established Lion King has set the piano on fire, and guess what? Now you go follow him.
Yeah.
And well, but we're not gonna go all the way with it. We're not going to go all the way. Well, we know the story is, but we're just kind of, we still want to keep it Disney,
So, Beauty and the Beast, massive success, Academy Award nominated film.
First animated film nominated for an Academy Award.
Yeah, Best Picture, not just like Best Picture.
Yep.
So, what does that tell him? Studio chairman Jeffrey Katzenberg decides we need to have another romance film and cash in on that. Aladdin, too far into production, can't change, even though, again, it's a romance film. And The Lion King, not a romance film. It has a romance film plot, but it's not a romance film, so it's good. So those are too far into production. Pocahontas, though, it's not that deep into production. So that's why you get things like Pocahontas is very clearly older than she should be. At least visually, they made her look older than she should have been.
14, on that maybe.
Yeah, and so he wanted a more I don't want to say adult movie, but mature movie. So that's why like they make her a little older. They kind of make the romance a little more serious and grown up ish. The animals don't speak in it. There is no This movie is void of humor in a weird way. Like, there are jokes, but there's like they're just like jokes that any movie would have.
There's gags with the animals.
Yeah, and that's there's no lightness to any of the characters. Every character is, with the exception of like John Smith, who is a little awkward at times. Like, there's no humor in this movie to be seen.
Well, I mean, let's see with Pocahontas' friend.
Don't remember. And
whatever her name is.
And I wouldn't want to butcher the pronunciation by looking it up.
Whatever her name is, she's there to kind of add some levity to it. Even her, she's just like, "Oh, I'm Pocahontas' dumpy friend."
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the boys like her, not me.
Yeah. Nakoma or something like that, I think it is.
I don't know. I don't recall, but it's...
Yeah. So that's what you get. They wanted to make a more mature love story. Something a little like... So, trying their best to recreate Beauty and the Beast, but missing the point.
Right.
I
feel, you know how we're talking about like what other like extra episodes could we do? And I think one should be it's hear me out, our only explicit episode. It's just us dunking on Jeffrey Katzenberg.
It's so weird because like it's like Michael Eisner. He's not like incompetent and he's not bad, but there is this like, boy, you've made some like your stupid decisions, like you're snatching victory out of the the teeth of defeat kind of thing. Like you've made so many bad decisions, but you've also made just the right amount of good decisions to make you successful enough in this industry, and then goes on to create one of the biggest animation studios this side of Disney. So,
but I feel like what you've said about him, like starting with Black Cauldron, and like into Aladdin, and all, it just like he just seems like he doesn't seem like a great guy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't. Yeah, it's tricky because some of the things that you have to talk about with Jeffrey Katzenberg don't fit into the conversations of film production for the most part. Because behind the scenes, there was a lot of stuff that he was doing, like business-wise, that were big and important. But you made him the director of the animation studio, and so you're giving him final say, and, giving him decisions for things. So,
would you say Katzenberg he was like Disney's Kevin Dunn?
That's
a deep cut.
But like, because it really is, the relationship with Dunn and McMahon are exactly the same as the relationship between Katzenberg and Eisner, with the exception of Eisner was able to cut him loose.
Yeah.
and break free of him.
Now let's zoom in on John Smith. In and out. And now cut to the Native Americans, then back to John Smith.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's just you could do a whole episode about just Katzenberg Eisner relationship and what it meant for Disney and the studio and everything going forward.
I feel like that's a Showtime movie waiting to be made.
Oh, I mean, look, there's a fantastic book called The Disney War. And it's taking place sort of in real time. This book is being written while Eisner is being ousted from the studio. So, and the guy had been working with Eisner for a very long time already, and it covers in great detail all of this information. Eisner's entire tenure at Disney. Like, the book ends before he's ousted, but it's just around the corner when this book ends.
It's just around the river bend.
Just around The River Ran.
So,
So I highly recommend that book.
So we've been kind of crapping on Pocahontas. Should we talk about the stuff we like about the movie?
Well, I mean, we can, but like I feel like we should talk a little more about production stuff on this movie.
Yeah, I mean,
because I do want to point out that Eric Goldberg, and he's an animator, well-known animator. He was the supervising animator of the genie for Aladdin, and they wanted him to co-direct, so he's co-director of Pocahontas. He thought the movie was going to be funnier when he was doing it, but it wasn't. But when it was said it's going to be more Beauty and the Beast than Aladdin, and this is in 1992, okay? And at this time, the race riots in Los Angeles was going on.
Yep.
And that's what convinced him to commit to the film, was to take this movie because it featured racial themes, and he sort of felt like that is something that he could do, and something like he wants to have a voice in this and try to like show people, not the best reasons in the world to take on a movie like this. But yeah, boy, that's just like when you see like, oh yeah, it's the 1992 LA race riots that convinced the guy to make Pocahontas. That not a good look, because again, not exactly.
Not the best reason.
Not the best reason, and not this movie doesn't have the best stuff to say about race relations. Like it doesn't really go too far into trying to be decent. I don't know what the right way to say it, but like this film doesn't represent any of it particularly well.
Well, you get the sense that they're like, yeah, we want to tell a story, but we also need to sell merch. Yeah. So we need to we got to compromise somewhere.
Yeah, so you get cute. You gotta get that cute raccoon out there.
Yeah, which I saw Miko merch at Disneyland when we were there.
Yeah,
little stuffed Mikos. Yeah,
yeah. Miko is a very popular character. The hummingbird did not get the same love and attention that Miko gets.
Flick
or Flit. One of those two.
Yeah. He's a hummingbird that survives a fall off a waterfall.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Another one of those movies that they brought in, Broadway people to frame some of the music. There is music in it, but it doesn't come across as musical. It doesn't have the same sort of musical feeling that like Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. Like Beauty and the Beast, this isn't paced like a Broadway show in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, yeah, even next week's movie does a better job of going Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yes. And obviously, when you're handling this kind of movie, you have to bring in consultants, basically, for something like this. And so, they went to Jamestown Settlement, and learning information about Native American culture and settlements, and history about that kind of stuff. And they're learning things like choreography for the movie, for like the war dance and stuff.
Right.
They met what's her name? I just remember her Native American name was Little Dove, and White Dove were the two. They were living as descendants of the Native American tribe in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they were only paid their consulting fee was like $500 a day. I feel like I don't know where that lands. Like, does that seem like too little or too like, you should probably give them a little more.
Well, it depends if it's like, yeah, we're going to need you for 3 days. Here's $1,500.
Yeah.
Or is they be like, no, we're going to have you consult through the length of this movie. Then pay to me $500 is a lot of money a day.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
But like, it became quickly apparent that Disney didn't care about historical accuracy, and naturally they've come across like, I regret wholeheartedly working with them on this because they didn't care. It made it clear that they didn't care.
Well, maybe it was so much that Disney's like, maybe it was just one of those things where Disney was like, hey, see, we're consulting actual Native Americans. Now we're not going to listen to them.
I'm going to read, and I copied and pasted this straight from Wikipedia because I could not come across with something like, you can't. There's no better writing than you can read about something like this, because it is, we were just talking about Katzenberg.
Right.
And this is case in point of what we were just talking about with Katzenberg. When doing all this consulting and all of this stuff, Katzenberg had a meeting with the animation department. That same month, Katzenberg held a meeting with the feature animation staff in which he predicted Pocahontas would be a commercial hit while deeming The Lion King experimental and less likely to succeed. As a result, most of the animators of Walt Disney Feature Animation decided to work on Pocahontas instead, believing it would be the more prestigious and successful of the two films.
Yikes!
So, had made some tactical errors there.
But yet Lion King looks better still.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I will give this movie 100% credit. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, we've said that. Yeah, it looks. Yeah. It looks fine.
Yeah, I think
the music is fine.
A weird thing about this movie is that a lot of it takes place at night.
Yeah, it does. Or like foggy.
Yeah, low light situations.
Yeah.
And it's hard to draw stuff like that because you kind of have to have a very firm, especially when you're still kind of like halfway, like, computer animation isn't as fully featured as it is now. Like, you still have to know, light and shadows and what looks right and wrong and stuff. So give them that credit.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that one of the writers from this for this movie is Carl Binder, and he worked on Punky Brewster and Friday the 13th, the TV series. So.
Oh, so that translates well.
Translate well.
Now the live action Punky Brewster or the animated series?
I'm pretty sure the live action one, but
yeah, can we get Glomer in this movie?
Yeah. The music. Yeah, music. I think that's probably the highlight of the movie altogether.
Yeah.
Like, except I really, really don't like the Savages Ale things. I don't know what that song's official title is, but I do not like that song. It misses the point entirely of their own story. Like I said earlier, like I said at the top of the show, it's like it's trying to do this. See, they're both the same. They may have it's like because they're both singing and like the choruses meet at the end and everything, and so it's like they're different, but they're singing the same song, and so like at the end of the day, they're the same. They're both, they're scared of what they don't understand, and they're making some bad decisions and stuff. I was like, no, that's not what's happening here. They're not the same in this situation. Absolutely not. It really is a story of the white people are here. They're trying to take over. We just want to be left alone. One of them comes in and kills one of our people, and they think they're going to come in here and start a war with us?
Yeah, And boy, if there's anything that you have to love in this day and age, is people like to, but both sides. Like,
Yeah,
nope.
it's just like, it's this weird. It is on the centrist's greatest hits. Here you
It's
go. It's this song.
whataboutism, the song.
Yeah. But did you think about how the white people are scared too?
Yeah.
No, they're not, because they're just here because they were told to be here, and this guy wants gold.
Yep.
And he's doing the whole, you know, uh, like certain people in our society now,
Yeah.
rallying troops to be angry at people
Sure.
different than them,
Yeah.
yelling, cultural insults. It's that's what this, and they follow him into battle.
I
So
don't know who you're talking about.
it could be anyone, really.
Could literally be anybody.
Could literally be anyone.
Anybody.
All he wants is gold.
All he wants is gold. Yeah. Why
all
is
he
Ratcliffe super orange? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So that song's not great.
No, but like
Boogie loves it. JJ, he loves that song.
all right,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Well,
That's
I was
deep
gonna
cut
say,
for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Wouldn't that be great?
yeah. Um, I needed to know, going into this, like, I wonder um what made Mel Gibson, like, other than the check, like, because the
Sure.
check obviously is always a big thing, but there's always something that makes somebody take a movie,
Mm-hmm.
good or bad. It's like, oh, I like the script, or I really wanted to work with this director, or whatever. But this one is the very simple. You hear it a lot. Just wanted to do something for my kids. So that's why he did it. And a very, very rare, he is the voice of his character and the singing voice of his character. So,
yeah. Well, to be fair, that's also the excuse Raul Julia used. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a hit or a miss as to why you would make that decision. It may not be.
What's better, Raul Julia as M. Bison or Mel Gibson?
Oh, Raul Julia is M. Bison by like 10,000%.
Yeah.
If you're gonna watch that Street Fighter movie, that's the only reason to watch that Street Fighter movie, because he understands that this movie is terrible, and he's like, I'm gonna make this as campy as I can.
Yep.
I am literally dying on set. I'm going to just give every last bit of my life energy to a role to make this, to make at least my part what it should be. So, in a thing, I was looking on Twitter today, and I saw that Christian Bale was at Disneyland today.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that because he was also in this movie, and it's just one of those little things. He's Thomas.
Oh, he was Thomas.
He's Thomas in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it earlier. mentioned the movie earlier. He was in Newsies.
He was in Newsies.
So
he's there Disney. For Newsies too.
Yeah. So he's he's got a Disney track record of early career track record. So
he was there to oversee development of the American Psycho ride.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd be awesome.
It just plays Huey Lewis in the news while you're in there.
It's the Halloween overlay for the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, so it just plays various tracks off of sports.
Yeah,
while you're trying to escape from his murderous rampage.
I would go on that ride.
I'm upset that we've come up with this ride that will never exist. So
he's just dropping chainsaws down at you.
It's funny. He was explaining like they wanted the character to be Irish and young.
Mm-hmm.
But so like every time he like raised his voice and did more accents, But the more they did it, the more it became me, just older in English. So it's like, and you listen to it, it's like, yeah, none of that Irish young Irishman comes across in his voice at all in this movie. Like,
God, I didn't even know he was going for Irish. Have you heard that character? Like, oh yeah, he's.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's like he says, it just became old and British, like him.
Yeah.
Or English. Ratcliffe, voiced by Richard White, who is
I thought it was David N. Stiers for some reason. Okay, my bad.
No. It is. That was who they originally got to be.
Okay.
But things happen because he can't do anything other than Gaston's voice. So you're watching this movie, and I was gonna call him Radigan multiple times throughout this. Just fonder times, better movies,
better movies.
But yeah, no, they ended up going with David Ogden Stiers
because the Gaston voice should not come out of that portly character.
Yeah, the Gaston voice, like this manly voice coming out of that time.
It should come out of it has to be like a jock bro kind of,
Yeah.
So they
got
like Winchester to do it again.
Yeah, they actually like a very rare Aboriginal Canadian casting in a movie for this one too was in there because he was the shaman.
Right.
So it's like, they made some effort at times, but
like the voice cast. I mean, Russell Means.
Yeah.
He's Powhatan. Yeah.
There's just so much with this movie that we could be here for like 4 hours because like there's so much of like what went into the design of Pocahontas, what went into, because like it's clearly not Pocahontas. One of the most famous pictures of Pocahontas is that engraving of her where she's, where she was Rebecca.
Rebecca Rolfe.
Yeah, where she's, dressed in she's got a big hat and everything. And the frills
because it was England, so big hat.
Yeah, it was, this era in England, and she looks like a cover from one of those like Shakespearean novels. Like it looks almost exactly like a cover of like one of those Star Wars like Shakespeare Presents The Empire Strikes Back. Yoda and like this engraving looks a lot like that. Like they just took a Native American woman and made like, Shakespeare Presents Pocahontas or something.
Oh my God, I forgot Billy Connolly was in this movie.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. He was the really burly looking guy.
Yeah.
Which, when you think of Billy Connolly,
that's yeah.
There's an Irish voice.
Yeah.
There's an Irish.
You wanted an Irishman. You got an Irishman, but you gave it to Christian Bale, a very English person.
To be fair, it's hard to be more Irish than Billy Connolly.
Yeah.
Linda Hunt. She was Grandmother Willow.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I kind of forgot that's who it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, it's a good cast. Yeah, I can't deny. Like, the casting was good.
But
the movie just isn't. So, like, what good's a cast when there's no script for them to really work with? And it's funny to see, like, some of the visual inspirations for Pocahontas, because, like, you see some of the names that pop up, and it's like, some names that you wouldn't really necessarily recognize because they're like models, like things like that. But also like Naomi Campbell and Kate Moss. You're like,
yep.
Yeah, Kate Moss.
Yeah.
You're gonna go with this English lady to be Pocahontas, like
because Irene Medard looks nothing like Pocahontas. Now
Yeah.
she's a young, attractive woman when she did this movie, and still attractive, but doesn't look like the statuesque, you know.
I so again, just to show you that maybe their hearts were never really in the right place. I just took this as a quote that I took straight from Keen, one of the animators on this thing,
Mm-hmm.
and he was looking through stuff, looking for descriptions of Pocahontas and how to describe her, and like the 1620s description of her from a history book. Keen stated, "Not exactly a candidate for People's Most Beautiful issue, so I made a few adjustments to add an Asian feeling to her face."
Oh man, that
That
is an awful.
is an awful thing to say
Yeah,
in public, like to be read by other
yeah.
people. Maybe
For publication.
you. It's not okay to say that behind closed doors, but if you're gonna say that behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Because, like, that is terrible. Like, what are you
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Also, you don't know what she looked like.
yeah.
But it does explain why she had kind of a vaguely Asian look.
Yeah. You could have just taken a. There absolutely had to have been. If you wanted somebody beautiful, there's almost certain a Native American model that you could have based her off of.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, you were dead set on this weird Asian thing because another one of the um, uh, uh, inspirations was like a Filipino model, like instead. So it's like, boy, you were just dead set on like a
Did
very.
Frank Miller direct this movie?
Certainly seems like it at times, doesn't it? Um,
Look that
but
one up, people.
yeah, yeah. So it's like I just can't talk about just how miserable the production of this, because it wasn't miserable. Everything went swimmingly.
Yeah.
It's just every decision was a bad decision that went in friction, with the exception of, I would say, uh, uh, the music. Uh, and music went fine. It was originally, what was it? Because, yeah, Menken and Ashman were going to work on Aladdin, but then Ashman died. Um, Menken worked on the rest of the Aladdin soundtrack with Tim Rice. And then, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, hey, we're gonna keep doing it, but we just ended up not doing it, kind of stuff. Um, but it was, I think the soundtrack came along perfectly,
I mean,
well.
it's kind of the reason Vanessa Williams had a career.
Yeah.
I mean, like what to that point she'd like what she was Miss America.
Yeah.
Was stripped of her title, and I
Yeah.
emphasize the word strip for reasons. And then she just kind of popped up like, oh yeah, I'm doing the song for this movie, and it's a monster hit.
Yeah, just around the river bend.
Colors of the Wind
and Colors of the Wind. Were the two huge songs in this one that were like radio play kind of songs. But this was all the music was it's no collaboration on the, like that. It's Alan Menken and Stephen Schwartz. No Tim Rice on this particular one, but no, huge hit. I think the album itself like hit the top of the charts. I think it was number one, and I think it's like multi-platinum.
Yeah.
Like multi-platinum. It was a huge. All Disney music at this time was a massive hit because they were getting, just last year with Lion King, you had this Elton John, soundtrack extravaganza. You can't go wrong with some of this music at this time, and it's a common theme. Like even the worst of the movies.
Well,
with the exception of a particular one. tend to have expertly crafted music. Listen, I didn't say great, expertly crafted. It's an expert crafted it. You're just
spoilers. He's not talking about All for One and Bette Midler.
Yeah, Nick cannot even think 2 seconds of, Phil Collins was a massive success. He's an expert in his craft.
Well, I mean,
he wrote music.
Anyway,
yeah.
God, it's gonna be so hard for me to do that episode.
It's gonna be very fun. I can't wait.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
We are smack dab in the middle of the 90s, my friend. What does the 90s mean for movies?
Merch, video games,
brands, baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Half meal toys.
Burger King toys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were talking about that off air too. Like, did Dick Tracy have? No.
Remember, this is the fallout of
yeah
McDonald's and Disney. Like, you guys, your movies are getting increasingly worse. Like, Dick Tracy, like the Scratch game got us nothing, and your movies are. And then some. Yeah, now we're in the Burger King era of Happy Meal toys.
Prune Face didn't get me a McDLT.
Yeah. Damn. 55 million Burger King toys were shipped. That seems insane. Shipped doesn't necessarily mean purchased.
No.
But it's probably purchased. This is the United States.
If you go, I don't know how often you might be. You're a devotee of, like, I'm going to go to a flea market or a swap meet or antique stores, and there's inevitably that Ziploc bag full of fast food toys.
Yeah.
There's always Pocahontas stuff in there.
Well, it's because the toys weren't even that interesting because they were just figurines.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it was. It was just like, it's just the characters from the movie. They don't have any fun action features, or it's not like I'll always default to like the McDonald's Disneyland toys or Disney toys with like the VHS tapes. And it's like, there was a gimmick to them at least. Or even like the Mario ones are always the ones that I will like. Like each one of those had its own unique, identifiable gimmick.
Right.
But not these are just figurines.
I do know for a fact this had an action figure line because my sister owns some of them.
And I do like. I was gonna say that. There was at the time a very successful Pocahontas Barbie doll. Like
there was.
It wasn't a Barbie. I don't think they branded it Barbie, but it was a Barbie doll. I just want to point out that the Wikipedia page actually says Mattel peddling a Barbie-like Pocahontas doll, which.
Hey, stranger. What are you buying?
Yeah, what do you mean peddling? It's not like it's that episode of The Simpsons where it's like, she's got a new hat. It's a Pocahontas doll. What do you mean peddling? It sells itself. It's Disney movie.
Yeah, I think my sister had that as well.
And Payless shoes cross-branded with Pocahontas. Would you like to guess? Would you like to guess what kind of shoes they were selling to cross-brand with Pocahontas?
Were they moccasins, JJ?
They were absolutely moccasins.
Good Lord.
The 90s. We understood that racial tension was a thing. The 1992 LA race riots, case in point. That doesn't mean anyone acted upon it in a positive way. It was one of those things where it's like there's representation and then there's like some moccasins. Native American movie. We'll make some moccasins.
There's a fine line between representation and exploitation.
Yeah, and it's So.
And like keep in mind, Kevin Costner had done Dances with Wolves a few years before this movie.
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh yeah, that's kind of, that's how it was. So, and Disney's like, yeah, but what if we put her face on Burger King toys?
June 10th, 1995, a massive world premiere for Pocahontas in Central Park.
Okay.
100,000 people were there for this premiere of Pocahontas.
Was the bird lady from Home Alone 2 there?
Almost certainly.
Okay.
This is the 90s.
Yeah.
I can't remember when Home Alone 2 came out, so she probably has the turtle doves.
No, she has a turtle dove.
She has a turtle dove.
No sandwich or food or anything, because Kevin couldn't be bothered with that. But
I couldn't get her a Subway gift card. But he certainly got her a turtle dove. The premiere's attendees included Michael Eisner, because you
head
have
of Disney.
To. Yeah. Mariah Carey.
Why?
Caroline Kennedy.
Well, she's popular at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Caroline Kennedy. Again, remember, you're in New York, so.
Yeah. And
the mayor of the time, Rudy Giuliani.
Cool.
I'm sure he enjoyed the movie.
I'm
sure he had a good time and enjoyed himself, and then quietly retired and was never heard from again.
Yeah, I wonder if one of his good friends is also there, also a New Yorker.
And a New Yorker real estate.
A client of his.
Yeah.
A client of his.
Client of his did some work for him.
Yeah. What if that guy was there?
Almost certainly not. I can't imagine him ever watching a Disney movie and enjoying himself.
Yeah.
I always make this joke, but can you just picture him like on Big Thunder Mountain or something? Like, you can't.
No.
Your brain physically can't like populate that. Like, you think about it and starts glitching out, like you're losing internet connection or something. It's like, nope, doesn't exist.
Yeah. Well, the Scotch tape wouldn't hold this time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Welcome to our political episode.
I don't know what. Listen, it's the only way you can talk about a movie.
You can talk about this movie. Yeah. And also, we don't like that person. Sorry.
Look, we're never going to say it outright, but look it. Listen.
Listen, if you've listened to this show and
if you've listened to this show and have listened to some of our opinions when we talk about the problematic stuff that goes on in these movies,
and you're kind of like unsure what JJ and I's political leanings are, I know to tell you.
Yeah, this is episode 33 of just this on top of 3 other episodes. It's like you're 36 episodes in, you know by now. You know.
Yeah, you know.
No.
You know which direction we're going. JJ's from Washington, I'm from California, so there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, massive movie premiere with Mariah Carey and Rudy Giuliani in attendance. So.
Mariah Carey was popular at the time. She'd just done, I think she was doing fantasy. That was during fantasy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So you get Pocahontas released on video in 1996, the very next year, as part of the Masterpiece lineup. So, I absolutely had Pocahontas on VHS.
Yep, so did we.
I currently have in the other room a box, all of those Masterpiece Collection mega sets, and one of them is Pocahontas.
Mega sets.
It's funny because one of them's Pocahontas. One of them is not the Lion King. What made the decisions? And I looked it up and I'm like, so there's just no Lion King of these?
We just flipped the coin.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's Katzenberg is like, no, this one's gonna be the hit.
This is gonna be the hit. It's gonna be a hit. What? People like the Indians, right? The Cleveland Indians, the baseball team. Let's do that.
I'm gonna say you're doing the Michael Eisner voice. A Katzenberg voice is whinier and higher pitched. So
people like the Indians, You remember that Major League? People love
and there's absolutely is a Diet Coke in his hand. That was it's
Yeah,
vice.
with a straw in it.
I can just picture it. Like,
Yeah, it had to have a can with a straw in it just for extra.
Yeah, Diet
Mm.
Coke kid. You see him and John Drake going to have a throwdown.
Yeah, just for extra punchability.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, uh, the movie opening June 6th had a release on June 16th, 1995 in 6 theaters. So like a
Mhm.
little bit of a minor release, just so they could have it out in theaters for what would have been Pocahontas' 400th birthday.
Okay.
So um, it's that's that. So, but it's like actual like first weekend, it made $2.7 million. Um, Not great. Not a
No,
great opening.
no, that's
Um, but again,
considering.
but that's 6 theaters. Its wide release was the 23rd, and that's now you're adding 2,600 screens to it. Um,
Still number one movie, I'm sure.
yeah, the anticipated earnings was $30.5 million. They revised it downward to $29 million because of Batman Forever.
What I would rather watch Batman Forever.
Uh, uh, but it ended up making $29.5 million in its first weekend, with Batman Forever making $29.2 million that same weekend. So
Funny story about that. So at one point, Irene Bedard was booked as a guest at the Tonight Show,
yeah,
and so was Chris O'Donnell. So Chris O'Donnell was on first, and they went long because he was just talking a lot.
yeah.
And my sister, big Disney fan, loved Pocahontas, was super upset that they had to bump Irene Bedard because Chris O'Donnell ran over.
I would think that too. You
Yeah.
know, but you know, uh, okay. I guess we have to. There is an elephant in the room with Pocahontas because this is 1995.
Mm-hmm.
A more significant Disney animated movie came out in 1995.
In that movie.
Toy Story. um, so obviously, it's not the highest grossing movie of the year. It's not even the fourth highest grossing. Or like I think it is the fourth. It is the fourth highest grossing movie of the year.
And not as good.
Yeah. Oh, it's I of the of the top four of the. Well, we'll get to, we're just I'm paring back the 1990 movie stuff after this one, but we'll talk about the top 10 grossing ones, and that's where we kind of touch down on, and if there's any other animated stuff that was competing against. But we'll get to that in a couple of minutes. But I want to talk about critical reception. Um, critical reception, not great. Not great. If you look at Rotten Tomatoes right now, it's at 56%. That seems fair to me.
56?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
Because
a panning it, but it's
yeah,
not. Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's on the precipice of something good. It just can't. It didn't find its voice that it really needed. Um, if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes, like they give a little blurb as to
Yeah.
like what the general consensus was.
Mm-hmm.
Pocahontas means well and has moments of startling beauty, but it's a largely bland, uninspired effort with uneven plotting and unfortunate lack of fun. I agree. Like I agree with most of that, except as we've talked about, I don't even think Pocahontas means well. I,
No,
uh,
it's certainly not fun.
yeah, it certainly does have an unfortunate lack of fun. I will agree with that 100%. It's a 58 out of 100 on Metacritic, which is about the same as the Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, Metacritic's usually pretty accurate in that sense.
Is it? Yeah. Is it thermometer? Tomato meter? Thermometer? I don't know. I never figured it out.
Well, let's Tommaso Ciampa meter.
Tommaso Ciampa meter?
Yeah.
Roger Ebert gave it 3 stars, um, which he has a 4-star scale. So he liked this movie an awful lot,
Yeah.
but does acknowledge, he says it's the best looking of the modern animated films, and one of the more thoughtful, which I guess in terms of, I
I
guess
wish that face was a thumbnail for the show.
yeah,
The face you just made, it was just like
yeah,
you made the sure Jan face.
yeah, like I guess more thoughtful in the sense that there was any sort of cultural thought at all into it, which is not typical for Disney movies.
The
But
cast Native Americans, I guess
yeah,
that's a thing they did.
he was more critical of the story and the portrayal of the villain. On a list including Mermaid, Beauty, Aladdin, and Lion King, I'd rank it 5th. It has a lot of good intentions, but a severe scoundrels shortage. um, I
That's
will
a good
agree with
quote.
that. The villain
That's a
in
good.
this, yeah, it's a good quote. And I will agree with it. It is a bad villain in this movie. It is a very poorly done villain in this movie. Um, it's because, and the villain, when you look at him and stuff, is like, it seems like they're trying so hard to not make him look like a white man. You know what I mean? Like, just
Yeah.
like he doesn't even look like he would be sort of a high society Englishman. He looks like some sort of weird appropriation of several different. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
like they
Yeah.
didn't. It's like they didn't want to make white people the enemy in a Pocahontas story, which
Well, yeah.
I get it, but boy, man,
Yeah. It's just.
then don't make this movie. That's at the end of the day.
Yeah. Hey,
Like,
that's go back in time.
yeah,
Strangle Jeffrey
like,
Katzenberg. It's like,
yeah,
don't make this movie.
like because clearly they didn't want to make this movie. I mean, like it's one of those things like when you get remakes and they change everything about it, or like it's the thing I always complain about with Man of Steel in particular. Um, you strip away everything that makes the character the character. Man of Steel. It's a character of hope and truth, justice, the American way, and you strip all of that away, and you make your own thing. It's like reinventing Superman for a modern society and stuff. It's like, well, then you didn't want to make a Superman movie. You just wanted to make a dark superhero movie. You absolutely didn't. So why did you make a Superman movie? Oh, it was worth a lot of money. That's why you made a Superman movie. But like that doesn't play here. Why did you want to make this Pocahontas movie when you didn't want to tell a Pocahontas story? What was the point? What was your goal? Because it's not to, oh, we're just going to make a lot of money, because you could take anything. You could have just made the Romeo and Juliet story and probably would have made more money.
Were they getting a lot of pressure from groups about not
They always
representing
have
other cultures?
like,
and maybe there's like, okay, here.
Yeah, since the 40s, they've been getting pressure from
Right.
other representation, like about poor representation or whatever.
Was this just important? Like, all right, fine, here.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's what the final decision is. Yeah. But then don't make it a Pocahontas story. Just make it a Native American inspired, just like you do with other stuff today. Like even when they made Princess and the Frog, they tried to base it on like Louisiana culture kind of stuff, or Moana based on island culture, and
the true life story of Dwayne Johnson. Yeah,
the true life story of Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and things like that. But instead, you just took a story, and a historical story, and proceeded to do nothing with it except make a bad Romeo and Juliet story. So.
Yeah, which in itself is also a bad story. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, Romeo and Juliet is a bad Romeo and Juliet story.
It's a bad story.
Yeah.
It's like
it's
romanticized for reasons that I cannot understand, but okay, whatever.
A bunch of creepy 14-year-olds kill themselves because they're not allowed to date.
Yep.
So yeah, you have that. And, both 2 thumbs up on Ebert, Siskel and Ebert. I mean, but then after the big critics, then everyone else was like, Rolling Stone says it's not funny. The story's bad. It makes you miss characters like Nathan Lane.
Peter Travers not a fan.
No, not at all. Not at all. But nobody else, a lot of people weren't. I mean, like it's 60% ish, you know?
Yeah, I remember like there was an Entertainment Weekly review for it, and it was like, it's here, it's okay.
Yeah. But the Russell Means, who does the voice of the chief in the movie, um, likes it still. Um, he praised it for what it handled. Says it's his exact quote is Pocahontas is the first time Eurocentric male society has admitted its historical deceit. It makes the stunning admission that the British came over here to kill Indians and rape and pillage the land. Like
it does none of that, Russell.
it. I mean, the villain's point is to come here and pillage the land of gold
Yeah,
and to
but
kill the Native Americans. It doesn't actively show any of that.
no,
Just his goal. Like
but
there is like you're hit to this war, and I think my smoke detector battery just decided to go chirp. So I'm gonna have to wrap this up, and so we're not listening to that for the rest of this.
it's Gilbert Godfrey.
Yeah.
JJ.
It's the only word he can get now.
No, mother, it's just the Northern Lights.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I do also. It means this. I got this from Wikipedia because I thought it was kind of a goofy quote because it's referencing something. The first time, other than on Northern Exposure, that a human face has been put on an Indian female. I don't know. I just like. So your two cultural pillars are Pocahontas and Northern Exposure, which.
Okay.
So
all right then.
So awards. Colors of the Wind won Academy Award for Best Original Song and Best Original Musical Score. Still no animation awards at the Academy Awards, so nothing there. Won the Colors of the Wind, won the Grammy. Vanessa Williams did not win performance, though, so that's got to be a bummer. Song actually
that's
wins,
why she went
like,
and did. Yeah. She's like, I'm going to go do a racer now.
Yeah. What does Pocahontas means? Like little one or something? Isn't that what Pocahontas means? Like, isn't she supposed to be like 10 or something?
She's young. She's like supposed to be like has to be like
either
like early teens or like prepubescent. But somewhere around
like
around there.
Real Pocahontas at the time. And like
at
the time it was like super creepy because it's like she was a preteen and he was almost 30 or something. Yeah. It's like it's not a happy story.
Didn't get better when she got swooped up by and they went to England.
They made a movie of that too.
So they sure did. They made a sequel.
To this. I do like one of the animators that like one of the heads of it defended the film's relationship to history, saying, contrary to the popular verdict that we ignored history on the film, we tried hard to be historically correct and to the accuracy portray the culture of the Virginia Algonquins. Like, yeah. I obviously I don't know like the Native American side of that, like culturally or anything, but like you can't just say like we portrayed them, we portrayed the culture fine. Probably you did, but everything else was historically inaccurate, which is what people are talking about. They're not talking about if you like portrayed the Native American people accurately at the time of that's the time the movie takes place. What they're saying is you ignored history, which you did.
Well, I think that's where what praise it gets is like, oh, they didn't make them go like just dance around war paint and go, and make wah wah noises.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they actually they're like people. They're a culture,
Yeah, and you see bits of their culture. You actually
see bits of their culture.
Yeah. But
and so I guess in that sense, good job.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, you tried. In that sense, sure.
Yeah, it's not like an old Glenn, or old John Ford, John Wayne movie with Native
So,
Americans in it. Yeah.
we always like to talk about like the legacy left behind and whatever. Did
Kirk
you
Cameron
ever?
Left Behind?
Yeah. Did you ever play the video game?
I did not.
Yeah, it's adequate. It's not. It's not like Lion King or anything. It's
It
perfectly
was a
fine. But
Genesis game, right?
Genesis only, nothing else.
Genesis only, yeah.
Yeah. It was. Oh, I think it was still. It was Funcom that developed
Okay.
it.
This was also toward the end of the Genesis
95. I
run.
mean, we're
We're,
PlayStation is out.
yeah,
Like,
it's like the shift to Saturn's happened already.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
Everyone's sitting at E3 and there's and the guys on stage saying, "Hey, guess what? It's for sale now." And they're all like, "Thanks, thanks. We're here. You know, we can't actually cover your stuff when we're
yeah.
here." You
How
know,
bad do you want to play Virtua Cop?
yeah. To be fair, pretty bad.
Yeah,
But
yeah, no, I was saying like, no, I said that as soon as I said it, like, I kind of want to play Virtua
yeah,
Cop,
that's like let's be reasonable here. I very much want to play Virtual Cop.
but you want to play more than Virtua Cop? Virtua Cop 2.
I'm looking to see what games uh, Funcom has worked on, um, and boy, it's a who's who. They did the Mega CD port of Samurai Showdown
Okay,
and Fatal Fury Special.
nice. Are you
Uh,
okay, JJ?
what?
Are you okay?
No, no, I'm not.
Bust a wolf.
I'm just gonna let you sit in your own reference.
No, no.
Uh,
Yeah, you're gonna.
I'm not doing it.
Okay, come on.
Uh,
Acknowledge Terry Bogard.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm just gonna make this most awkward like breakdown. Like I'm not. I'm not doing any Fatal Fury jokes with you right now. We've done it enough. We've done it enough. I'm not gonna sit here and go, okay,
Okay.
all right,
Tosses your hat.
yeah. But like they're still doing their thing today. I don't know what their a game that's out now called Mutant Zero Roti, which I've actually been playing. They published it, so that's what they're. And that Conan Exiles game, which is notable for various reasons, including the character creator, has certain sliders that no game can have sliders for.
Oh, okay. Is it similar to Vanessa Williams' issues?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, very much.
Okay.
So yeah, so yeah, Funcom still out there doing their thing. There
Uh,
was a Game Boy game. I
yeah, there
never
was.
played the Game Boy version.
That would have been Game Boy Color, though, right?
No, no, just regular
No,
old Game Boy.
monochrome. Yeah.
Monochrome. It was so late that it probably had something special for that stuff. But
Huh.
anyways, Pocahontas 2, Journey to the New World. So yes, there was a sequel, as we mentioned earlier. Never seen it because don't like this movie. Why would I go out of my way and see more of it?
Well, to be fair, if they said like, "Hey, guess what? Tomorrow we're making a sequel to Mac and Me," you'd be like, "Hell yeah, I'm
yeah,
down for Mac and Me too."
yeah, that's very true. But
Okay.
but I don't like Mac and Me for a very different reason than I don't like Pocahontas.
Okay, fair enough.
Um, I do want to just so you know, it's par of the course. I'm reading the Wikipedia description of Pocahontas 2. While the first film dealt with her meeting with John Smith and the arrival of the British settlers in Jamestown, the sequel focuses on Pocahontas' journey to England with John Rolfe to negotiate for peace between the two nations, although her death is omitted from the film's ending.
I mean, that's not really a good way to.
Yeah.
I was looking at the
I would love if that's the direct to DVD sequel to Pocahontas 2 features a heart-wrenching death scene of a main character like
yeah,
this. Like it's like what's so special about Pocahontas 2? Oh, Pocahontas dies.
yeah.
It's very sad. It's very
Get Irene
emotional.
Bedard back in the studio.
It's very sad, very emotional. Also, um, it's also direct to DVD, and it has a budget of like like a quarter of what Pocahontas 1 has.
So it'd be like the original cut of First Blood,
Yeah,
where Rambo dies.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Okay.
so yeah. I mean, and John Smith is in the movie, so it's like he dies in this movie. So
Voiced by somebody else, but
yeah,
because Mel Gibson's like, nah.
I'm curious. Wait.
Donald Gibson, I think.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, that's Mel Gibson's brother.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I know who that is. They got Mel Gibson's brother to be John Smith in Pocahontas 2. That is bold.
Yeah. We need a Gibson.
Yeah. It's not like when they get something like it's his brother, and like he doesn't even sound too much like Mel Gibson, but like
it's not like Tom Hanks's brother, who's like he does all the extra Woody stuff.
Yeah. He was in oh boy, Reboot. That's what he was in. I knew he was in a cartoon that I watched. It was
Reboot.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
but only
okay.
but like end of life Reboot, like
okay,
not like basic. And
not even all of that show.
And apparently he was Captain Boomerang in 2 episodes of Justice League Unlimited, so he's okay in my book.
All right. Okay. Fair. Okay. Redeemed.
Yeah. So yeah, that blows my mind that's Donald Gibson was John Smith. I never would have guessed. That's crazy.
Can we just talk about Justice League Unlimited for the rest of the show?
Yeah, Justice League Compendium coming soon.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll include the other 2 seasons of regular Justice League that go into Justice League.
Technically, if you think about it, it was the last episode of Batman Beyond.
Justice League. The last episode of Batman Beyond was Justice League Unlimited episode. I don't know.
It was the last season though, somewhere.
It was the last season, like episode like 32 or something nonsense.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
All right.
Pocahontas is in Ralph Breaks the Internet with all the princesses because
she is
a princess. And there's a lot of all that, Huffington Post says that Avatar is a ripoff of Pocahontas. And I guess, but also Pocahontas is also just Fern Gully, and Fern Gully is just every nature, like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think we could talk too much more about this movie. So let's just get back into the.
It's more like you don't want to talk more about this movie.
Let's go to the top 10 highest grossing films of 1995. Although I will say this, we're not going to break down all of these movies that came out in 1995. I will say one of my favorite movies of all time came out in 1995, and that is Heat. Just want to get that out of the way.
Oh yeah, Heat.
Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer, Michael Mann directed film. That
you do what you do, I do what I do.
Yeah.
A movie I like. Also, a couple of movies I like came out this year. Apollo 13.
Yep.
Billy Madison. Usual Suspects.
Yep.
GoldenEye.
Yep. So you ready for the top 10?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you know? Have you looked at the list?
I actually just now pulled the list. I know those movies came out, but
yeah, I was gonna say. So do you know what number 1 is?
I'm gonna guess Toy Story.
It is not. You would think. I thought it was going into this too. Is
it Braveheart?
Not. It is not. It is Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Okay. All right.
The Samuel L. Jackson. Die Hard with the N-word.
To be fair, it's a pretty good Die Hard movie.
It's a pretty good Die Hard movie.
I like that movie a lot.
It's the worst of the three in the
No,
Die Hard trilogy
no.
PlayStation game.
Oh, okay. I said the original. I was saying of the first three. Like, no,
Oh no
Die Hard
no
2.
oh no Die Hard 2
No,
is exponentially worse than Die Hard with a
yeah,
Vengeance by
yeah.
comparison.
No, you're okay. Yes, of the video game, sure.
Of
Yeah,
the PlayStation video game Die Hard trilogy, because it is a horrible, horrible driving game with bad controls, and I hate it.
and solving clues. I think solving puzzles, right?
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's like get from point A to point B fast. You're like, I don't wanna.
Simon says,
Yeah. Number two. Oh, it made $366 million.
"Holy smokes!"
Number two is Toy Story at $361 million. Number three, Apollo 13 at $355 million. Number
Really good.
four,
God, Tom Hanks is just killing it this year.
I know, right? It's two
Yeah.
and three. Just it's all you need, and you got it. Um, uh, number four, GoldenEye, $352 million. GoldenEye, obviously, for our generation means a lot because like for my particular generation, it was like the first like James Bond movie that I could go to the theaters and go see.
Yeah,
Because James Bond at this time had been dead for a significant amount of time.
yeah. I
As a
think
franchise, not the character. But
I think Living Daylights had been, or Dalton had been like out for what 6 years now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And of course the always great GoldenEye video game.
Better video game than movie,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
still an okay movie.
Still.
Oh,
I guess best of the Brosnans. I mean, I don't know.
I like The World's Not Enough.
Yeah. But yeah. All right.
Okay.
Number five, Pocahontas.
Okay. Never
Made
heard of it.
$346 million on a budget of $55 million. So
What's that movie about? Go into great detail. Tell me about it. Go.
Okay. Well, so there's a ship, and it gets caught into a storm.
Yeah.
And there's this guy, and I'm telling you, it's a fake name. This is a guy that doesn't want to be found. And his name's John Smith.
Yeah. No, this is boring. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
All right.
Okay.
Number six, Batman Forever.
Heck yeah.
$336
boiling
million.
acid.
Batman Forever is one of those movies where you watch it and you're like, boy, they just covered everything in neon. This rules.
Yeah, it's also like you watch it and be like, dude, I freaking love Batman Forever.
It's hilarious because you sit there and you watch it and you recognize like this is a bad movie. Like the plot's dumb. It's compared to earlier movies. It's like it's silly. It's weird. It's got some bad direction and bad writing. And it's like everything from a technical standpoint is terrible. Yet, so good.
Listen, here's what's got going for it. Val Kilmer's a pretty good Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
Peak hotness, Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, better Bruce Wayne than Batman. Yeah, Val Kilmer.
Tommy Lee Jones is fun in it.
Yeah. You have Jim Carrey as Jim Carrey. Yes.
He's just Jim Carreying it. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I will not say a bad word about Batman Forever. Kiss from a Rose.
Kiss from a Rose. And awesome McDonald's glasses.
Yeah. I'll get drive-through. Remember that commercial?
Yeah. Yeah, I could never forget that commercial. Ironically, number 7 is the movie 7.
What's in the box? Personal favorite of mine.
Yes, I say that line quite a bit in my day-to-day life. What's in the box?
I like doing the whole. My favorite thing about the movie is just how much of a like wet blanket Morgan Freeman is the whole time.
Absolutely.
The world's a fine place and worth fighting for. I agree with the second part.
Number 8, Casper, the Friendly Ghost live action.
What? Okay.
That movie had Pizza Hut tie-ins.
Did it have puppets?
It was the hand puppets. Yes.
This is when they it's like, oh, Christina Ricci was Wednesday Addams. Let's just make her like the spooky girl.
She's the spooky. She's like, yeah, she's the spooky. Like, it's like everyone likes, like, she's the new Lydia Dietz. Let's just do it.
Yeah, she's everybody's favorite goth chick.
Yeah. Number 9, Waterworld, $264 million.
How?
Keep in mind, it's one of the top 10 movies of the year, and still one of the most significant box office failures of all time because it cost $175 million.
Cost so much to make. Also a Genesis game.
And yes, also a Genesis game, and also an absolutely fantastic Universal Studios stunt show.
Yeah, that stayed around way longer than it should have.
Yeah.
It's like, why are Waterworld backdrafts still here?
Yeah, think about it. Waterworld was $175 million. Apollo 13, $52 million. A movie about a movie that lives and dies about making you believe that Tom Hanks is in outer space.
And that Kevin Bacon's a good actor.
Yeah.
What? Sorry.
It costs substantially less than Waterworld. GoldenEye, where they are routinely blowing stuff up all of the time and use nothing but practical effects, was $60 million.
A giant satellite dish that literally falls on a dude.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
For England, James.
Yeah.
No.
And rounding out the top 10, Jumanji, at $263 million.
Which I like Jumanji a lot. Have you watched it recently?
The original Jumanji?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, does the CGI not hold up well?
No.
The monkeys in particular.
Yeah, but
look rough.
At the same time, I don't care.
Yeah, I love Jumanji. It's fine.
This year, best film at the Academy Awards is Braveheart. Actor of the Year this year was Nicolas Cage.
Oh, that's right. He won an Oscar.
Yeah, Leaving Las Vegas. Susan Sarandon. Kevin Spacey won for Best Supporting Actor.
Ew.
Mira Sorvino for Best Supporting Actress.
What? Oh, that's right. She okay. She won for the. Yeah.
Emma Thompson won for Best Adapted Screenplay for Sense and Sensibility.
Mm-hmm.
And Christopher McQuarrie won for The Usual Suspects for Best Original Screenplay, which,
great movie. Usual Suspects.
Movie. Yes.
Don't Google Bryan Singer.
Yeah. Don't.
Or Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. Don't look at any of it.
Just pretend that movie exists in a vacuum.
We're just going to go through. I'm not talking about movies, but we're just going to snowball about some of this stuff because I am looking at some of the movies that came out this year. I was blown away that this was the height of Jerky Boy fever.
Oh, my Lord.
They put out a Jerky Boys movie in 1995. So
sizzle chest.
I just want to make sure that there's no other cartoons that we missed that came out this year. Yes, there was a Goofy movie came out this year.
Better Disney movie.
Better movie than Pocahontas.
Yep, absolutely. Goofy movie's legit.
Also, this is also the peak. The Pebble and the Penguin, which is a Don Bluth film.
I never saw it.
This is also Pauly Shore fever for us, for this country.
Biodome and the Army Now.
Jury Duty.
It had to be one of those. Okay.
Yeah. Friday. We've already talked about Friday on the show. We don't need to talk about
We'll get my dad to talk about Friday one episode.
Any other anime? Tales from the Hood. It's not animated, but I felt like I needed to say Tales from the Hood.
Congo?
Congo's basically animated.
JJ.
So is the Power Rangers movie.
I'm going to tell you this one time.
Okay.
Stop eating my sesame cake.
Ooh, Babe. Love Babe. in between making Mad Max movies, George Miller likes to make children's films about pigs and penguins. So
Santa!
Mortal
I love it.
Kombat.
Yeah.
I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'm doing it, and I apologize. But I'm being faster about it because I can. Nobody cares that Showgirls or Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers came out same year as Toy Story and Pocahontas. Mallrats. That's in. Oh yeah, Captain Marvel came out.
Yeah. Oh, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Ace Ventura 2 Casino.
Good movie.
Yeah.
Also, I really like Ace Ventura too.
Heat. Right, I know I said Heat already, but I just need to say Heat again.
Jim Gaffigan, have you seen Heat?
Yeah. Yeah,
Came
that's
out 12 years ago.
That came out like 12 years ago.
I want to talk about it now.
Yes. Believe me, that exact conversation, doing the Jim Gaffigan voice when I talk about movies, comes up all the time. Balto, another animated film that came out this year. So Balto is okay.
It's all right.
It's another one of those movies where it's like inspired by true events, kind of.
Yeah. So we say.
That's the cartoon. So that's that. That is that. That is that. I know I said that is that several times, but you know what? You know what time it is now.
It is.
Uh-oh.
What?
I've miscalculated some stuff here. Where is? Okay, never mind.
And when you just 3D print a new list up.
Yeah. I thought I lost the stick that had our lists on it, but no.
Oh no.
It's here.
JJ, the list is life.
The list is life. It's pure perfect science. Nick?
Oh, yes.
You want to say what you're going to say first?
We forgot a movie from 1985.
Uh-oh. What did we forget?
Johnny Mnemonic.
I didn't forget Johnny Mnemonic. I just wasn't going to mention Johnny Mnemonic.
Okay.
Nick, you ready to rank Pocahontas?
Wow. Okay. Is that the adult film? Or?
I didn't say it the other way.
Okay. Hey, let's shave off some time of the show. Let's start around 15.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 on your list is The Rescuers.
Okay.
Is it better or worse than The Rescuers?
It is not better than The Rescuers.
Is that about Rescuers Down Under?
No.
Sleeping Beauty? Is it better than Sleeping Beauty?
No. It's not better than Sleeping Beauty.
Is it better than The Aristocats?
No.
Is it better than 101 Dalmatians?
No.
Is it better than Lady and the Tramp?
No.
Is it better than Peter Pan?
Boy, that'd be weird to have those close to each other.
Keep in mind
No.
that if you say it's better than Peter Pan, you also say it's better than Alice in Wonderland.
No, it's not.
What about Fun and Fancy Free?
Yeah.
It's better than Fun and Fancy Free?
Yeah, once we start getting into like the cereals and things, that's about as low as I want to go with it.
All right, so that puts it. Where are we at on your list here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23rd on your list.
Okay.
It is better than Fun and Fancy Free, Pinocchio, Snow White, Bambi, Make My Music, Melody Time, Oliver and Company, Three Caballeros, Fox and the Hound, and Saludos Amigos.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
I'm not going to go through my whole list because I know exactly where I want to put it already, and I can just tell you right now that I am going to put it above The Rescuers Down Under. No, wait, I didn't mean above. I meant below Rescuers Down Under. Down Under, Down Under. I keep spelling Pocahontas wrong because I am a problematic white man.
Maybe the most problematic.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 on my list.
Wow. So again, not too far off.
Not too far off. So that's that. That is Pocahontas. I feel like we didn't actually talk about Pocahontas, and I don't know why, because we talked about Pocahontas.
I know why we didn't.
Yeah.
It's not a good movie.
Yeah. And we didn't really talk about the plot at all because
not worth talking about.
Not worth talking about. Like it's a simple plot. It's because we mentioned it in passing. It's like a weird treasure story that involves colonization.
But
weird.
Hey guys, it's on Netflix right this second.
It is. That's how I watched it. Netflix, because I do not own Pocahontas.
So
I do own Pocahontas. I own Pocahontas on a weird VHS copy that I can't. That is still sealed. But
now here's the thing. Here is a telling sign. If a Disney animated movie is on Netflix, that is a sign that they don't care as much about it.
Yeah. And with that, and with that, let's just say next week is the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Guess where you can watch the Hunchback of Notre Dame?
I think it's also on Hulu.
Yeah. Yeah. 1996 Disney animated feature, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I think we'll be nicer to this movie.
Well, yeah, we actually have a fondness for not the source material, but the more popular source material.
Yeah, and it has one of the coolest Disney songs ever written.
Yeah,
something that's really sort of out of left field for Disney. So,
and it might be poignant considering what happened about a month or two ago. Months ago. Yeah.
So, until then, thank you for joining us, and as always, have a magical day.
Bye.